are for another match of Simic Merfolk in Historic Best of 3. We are on the play against Makei. Something like that. We've got no companion for a hint, so we would love some green mana, but this is a reasonable keep to start, so let's see how the game goes. Lead with that cavern, hope we draw a green land or something else good off of this cenote. Oh, another Cavern of Souls. This is going to be a weird mana base this game. Goblins or... oh, there's that green land we were looking for. Let's see about some tricks. Trapfinder is when it dies. So we'll try and block that with a Trickster next turn. Oh, was hoping he'd be a little more aggressive, so we'll play the Hexcatcher here. This will give us our green mana, so we're going to convert the cavern he knows about into a trop, and then play it out. We'll swing with that Cenote Scout, and keep the Merfolk Trickster in reserve. If he blocks with that Trapfinder, we will Trickster it. If he attacks with it, we will obviously Trickster it. Have the option here that we could Trickster the Archaeomancer at the beginning of the turn, and maybe we should have, with Krenko coming out. Might regret it, but at least it doesn't have haste. Alright, we are not going to cast the Trickster yet. We want to save him to force Krenko to tap early and keep more goblins off the board. Interesting, a Kumena. That doesn't do what we need it to do. So here we're going to get in with the Shoreline Scout, because if he blocks with Krenko, I can flash in the Trickster. We're going to set a stop now on his start of turn, and then Trickster that Krenko right now, so that he gets 3 goblins instead of 4 or more, depending on the rest of his turn. This is not looking great for us, depending on what he's got available. Fighting through that number of goblins. If he has any lords, we're in trouble. If he plays the Mana Goblin, we're in trouble. Well, Horde Master's not too bad. Well, I am very glad I tapped Krenko down before this turn started, but he's still going to have a lot of Krenko Goblins next turn. So at this point, we're pivoting our plan over to getting beefier than him, which is, I don't know how well that's going to work out. We're going to play a Kumena, though. That allows us to pump all of our Merfolks next turn and get some evasive damage in if he doesn't play a Muxus on us soon. So let's see how that goes. So we have 2 options with the Kumena activations. Either we can pump everybody, or we can draw 2 cards. I think our plan is probably pump everyone because we need blockers. I don't know if he's going to attack this turn. He probably feels like he's in a pretty commanding position, and he's not wrong. So he's got a Muxus for next turn, a Krenko for 1 billion this turn. I think we're going to go for the draw 2 cards. We almost need a... well, that's interesting. Okay. Activate the vault. Let's go to blocks. I don't want to lose that Hexcatcher. It's not worth it. But we can take out pretty much all of these. We do have to pump up the... we do have to pump up with the Kumena. think that attack was an error on his part. I don't know if he realized we had that ability. Maybe he just wanted to draw a lot of cards. Yeah, in hindsight, that's a lot of cards. Oh, he can play Muxus this turn off of that Skirk Prospector. Is he going to do it, or is he going to play it next turn? Yeah, he's going all in on combo this turn, which I think makes the most sense. Oh, he's not. Interesting. Alright, we're going to play a Reach. I should not have trusted the auto tapper there. We're going to tap the Reach. I'm going to get in for 5. And hope we draw Videlian Hexcatcher to untap this Kamena. That's why we always need to be careful with the auto tapper. Because I really needed 2 mana up here. He's got more guys than I can possibly block. So he's got 10 2/2s. Even if I have everyone untapped, I have 7 blockers. And he'll have enough to kill me. And that's assuming Muxus doesn't have a big hit. So I do need here... I don't know if I've got an out to win this. Yeah. So, obvious play to play Muxus. And we have to hope he kind of whiffs. Oh, he kind of whiffed. Hobgoblin Bandit Lord as the only hit off of a Muxus is about as good as we can expect given where we're at. Those Krenko tokens do not have haste. I still don't think we have enough blockers to survive any of this. Oh, there we go. Yeah, he can draw his whole deck and cast whatever he wants, and that's all he needs is a Lord that gives everybody haste. He's got it. So we are going to scoop and go to the next game. These Goblin matchups can be a little iffy. You got to deal with the important ones. So we're going to Piranhas, Tidebinder, Mindsinger can make a big difference. And Tail Swipe, we've got a decent number of removals. I saw Cabaretti Revels in there, so we're going to Masked Vandal as well. And then Sleep as the finisher. So we're going to take out our Kamena. It's a little too slow. We need the Marrow Reegery in here because we need that extra beef on the battlefield. Silvergills come out, we don't care about card advantage. A couple of Shorelines because that early play doesn't make a big difference. Now we got to make some hard choices though. We have a lot to bring in here. I'm going to take out the Tunnel Guides because we need the Lords on the board. Then we got to get rid of 3 more cards. One option here would be the 3 Svellions. Usually it's too slow, the card advantage doesn't make a difference. Other option would be to drop some of the Pearl Tridents or go all in losing the Shoreline Scouts. With the Tunnel Guides out, I don't like cutting all the Shoreline Scouts because I just find it's too easy to get stalled out on mana. So here I'm going to go with cut the Svellions and see if we can make something happen against this Goblins deck. Alright, on the play with a kind of mediocre hand against Goblins. But I think we got to keep this, get some bodies on the board that can block and pressure, and then hope we draw into our disruption. Don't lead with a Botanical Sanctum. If we draw another one, it's always good to have them all out on the board. He can't cast Cabaretti Revels yet, so we're going to play the Pearl Trident. I don't see any green. It looks like he's got something to cast, so we'll play our Cavern. We're going to swing with the Lord first. Now we have to play a Reach out. I think one of these lords is going to get killed. Maybe not. Rebels could be a little rough here, but if I get to play a second Reach, we are off to the races. Alright, so we play a Reach. We're going to untap Cavernous Souls here. Now I'll play the Hexcatcher, untap Cavern and Sanctum. And then our plan is going to be to try and shortcut his mana next turn. So we'll play a Merfolk Trickster and tap down 2 of his lands. So we get in for 10. Pre-setting that stop so we don't forget, go to his turn. Trickster. And then we're going to tap his green and his manland. Tap. Tap. So unless he has a land and a great 2-drop into a Skirk Prospector, I think we're all right. Oh, he has the land, but an Archomancer isn't going to do what he needs to do. So he's got up to 2 mana available, 1 with a discount. Let's see what he's got. A Horde Master, but he sacked the Skirk Prospector to get it. Oh, he only has the 1 set of 1-drops, so any 2-drop he casts, he's getting a second 1-drop on it. He's got another 2-drop to pull out another Skirk Prospector, I assume. Oh, Goblin Matron. We hit an Instigator and he's out of mana. And he loses. He needed to hit a Skirk Prospector on that Seek. Alright, that turned out into a good pressure. It's not the game plan against this deck, but it worked just fine that game. So this time on the draw, we have to be aware that we're behind coming into that Cabaret Revels on turn 2 or 3. And so we really are hoping for some disruption in this opening hand. And disruption is what we got. We got a Tail Swipe, we got a Lord, a Glassful Mimic. We are definitely keeping this. So we're actually hoping to be able to hit something with that Tail Swipe on our turn 2 and keep him off the board a little bit. That potentially means playing the Glassful Mimic on our turn 2 to feign weakness after playing the Cenote Scout this turn. We'd love to hit that 4th land here, but if we hit something good, we might keep it on top. A 3-drop, Tidebinder's can be really good in this matchup, but it's too slow here. So we're going to feed it to the graveyard. If we hit a Masked Vandal, that gives us ammo to use to deal with a Revels as well. Alright, that's good news. So we are going to drop our Glassful Shore. Taking a risk here. If they have anything to deal damage for up to 2 mana, we are going to get blown out, but we got to try and kill that Skirk Prospector while we can. Alright, we got the Prospector on our turn. Get the extra damage from that Tail Swipe too. That's the start that we drew up. Alright, we are doing decently now. So we've got the Tishana's Tidebinder here. So we're going to attack into that Horde Master. And then we can make the decision whether we Merfolk Trickster or Tishana's Tidebinder on this turn. So if he sacks that Prospector for mana, okay, we're just going to Trickster here. Tap down the Prospector, and then go to our turn. Alright, so we've got Coco up as well as the Tidebinder. This turn I suspect we're going to end up Tidebindering the Runevelt Hordemaster's ability as soon as he sacks something for mana, but it depends on what he's going to try and cast here. Oh, he sacked the Hordemaster itself. That's interesting. Yeah, let's let that resolve. What did he pull? Cabaret Revels here. We are going to Collected Company and see if we can counter that with a Hexcatcher. No, we didn't Hexcatcher, but I wonder what order it's going to stack these. I should have hit full control before I did that. Alright, we are in very good shape here. We've got 5 mana, we'll play a Lord, we have a Tidebinder up, we're getting in, and we have the ability to sack that Skirk Prospector anytime we want if he is threatening to get it back. Never mind, I didn't even count my damage. We got him for lethal, got that blocker off of the Mindsinger, and had a good game 2 and 3 in that match against Goblins.